While the economic crisis in Afghanistan has taken a toll on the lives and livelihood of common citizens, the minorities who were already marginalized are bearing the major brunt. Sikhs, who have repeatedly been attacked by the fundamentalist forces residing inside the country, continue to seek shelter outside the war-torn nation. India, the home to majority of Sikhs around the world, continues to facilitate their evacuation, and in line with the same, it welcomed another batch of Sikhs seeking refuge in the country. Have a look.
It's been a year since the Taliban swept to power in Afghanistan. And contrary to what the group promised, the de facto government has failed to provide any sense of security to its people. Social, political and economic aspects of the society have been massively hit. Amidst all this comes the safety of those whose numbers have already declined to a handful. The Sikh minority, which is already subjected to different forms of violence and ostracism, is now desperate to flee the country. Scores of them have already migrated to different countries, with the majority seeking a refuge in India. Recently, a batch of 30 Afghan Sikhs landed in New Delhi. The Afghan Sikhs, including women and children, were seen reuniting with their friends and family outside the New Delhi airport as the refugees sought to seek shelter and settle down on Indian grounds.
उन तालिबान की तो इस तरह दिक्कत नहीं, वहाँ पर अलग इस तरह जो आतंकवादी बोलते हैं वो लोग के, इसीलिए अफगानिस्तान को छोड़ते नहीं है। हालात से आराम, इससे पहले जो हालात थे, जो अशरफ गनी था, उसमें भी इसी तरह हालात थे, आज भी वही हालात है। ये खास इसलिए ये कर रहे हैं गवर्नमेंट को बदनाम के लिए, सिखों को टारगेट करना, गैर मजहब लोगों को टारगेट करना उन लोगों का मिशन है।
The Sikh community, like other religious minorities, has been the continual target of violence in Afghanistan. Sikhs are a religious minority in largely Muslim Afghanistan, comprising around 300 family members before the fall of the country to the Taliban. And since the attacks on Sikh shrine in capital Kabul were carried out by the Islamic State, their fears have compounded several times. People who have managed to flee Afghanistan, which they say has grown extremely unsafe and hostile to them, rued that minorities were being persecuted and their shrines were being destroyed in Afghanistan.
बस बहुत मजबूरी है ना, गुरुद्वारा चले गए, आ गया, गुरुद्वारा आ गया, अच्छा आ गया, खत्म, गुरुद्वारा खत्म हो गया।
Prior to the Taliban takeover last year, Hindus and Sikhs in Afghanistan numbered only approximately 600. Reports indicate that the number has dramatically decreased. Those remaining have been the subject of targeted attacks, predominantly by Sunni radical groups. The crisis-torn country also witnessed a massive earthquake last month, which killed over 1,000 people, left thousands other homeless, and brought the health system under huge strain. This has further impacted the lives of people, especially the minorities in Afghanistan. Observers say India's timely response to the minority crisis emerging out of the war-torn country can save dozens of lives. The government of India has maintained that it is committed to provide all forms of assistance to all minorities coming from war-torn country. India's amended Citizenship Act 2019 allows persecuted minorities from Afghanistan among a list of neighboring countries which can apply for country citizenship. Hence, the Sikhs' decision to relocate to India is not a knee-jerk reaction, but a rational call considering all forms of future securities.